Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Dorwinion campaign, where in the last one, I stuck out my neck a little too far, apparently. We have been attacked here with no movement points left for retreat on enemy territory in the winter, with a very, very large and apparently pretty well-equipped army here of Rune. A couple of family members, lots of mail-clad axemen, some mail-clad spearmen, and a lot of other stuff. Now, our army is, okay at dealing with a small version of Rune's, basic Tier 1 and Tier 2 things, but I think the numbers here are going to be the problem. So let's dive into it, and, as we're waiting for this to load up, I think the thing that I'm hoping for is some excellent and unexpected terrain. I'm not expecting that we're going to be on top of a steep hill, but man, if we are, I'm not going to say no. And failing that, my general to rout quickly and get off the field, because I believe this is our king, and he's a good governor, more to the point, and so I'd rather not lose him. This looks maybe workable. So we might be able to pull this off. Yeah, okay. Wow, I feel like we got really lucky with this. Now, it still may not be enough. We've got ranged units, but if they just come straight at us up the hill, I don't think that they're going to get tired enough. Now, their first army, this is the big one, and so they are not going to deploy. They're going to start right down here. Their army is going to be centered on the point, basically. And so, but it's going to extend a bit over here. So the thing I'm worried about is, even if it's sort of centered on the point, they've got enough men that they may be extending out over here, and this is not that far for them to go up this hill, right? So I guess, we can just take some solace in the fact that, like, half their army is probably going to be extremely tired, but the rest of them may have an easier time. So let's get our guys set up. We've got really, a couple of cavalry units who may be useful. I don't know if it's worth putting these guys off into the trees here. I don't think I want them near the general, but maybe I shouldn't try to be cute. I think maybe we should just do this, because they're probably going to try to come up here, right? And then I'm going to have cavalry just completely unsupported. So let's get our line together, such as it is. We've got a couple units of Tier 1 spearmen, we've got a Dorwinion watch, and we've got an axeman unit. That's really it for our melee line. Yeah. And, if we want to be really generous, we can include, like, these Ravanian Foresters as part of that infantry line, because they do have some melee capability. But I think we're going to want them pretty far forward. All right, I don't need to get all the way down there. So for the archers, yeah, I think also we're going to want them down pretty far, and the slingers similarly down pretty far. I don't think they have a lot of cav. They've got their general. So, maybe one thing that I could actually consider is using these guys, because this unit here, these Dorwinion nobles, are probably my biggest advantage in this battle. They've got good armor. They've got enough men in the unit that I think they could really make a difference. These guys are going to be really important to our good old Dorwinion watch, but there's just not enough of them, and there's not enough of a line even to build around them. So, it's going to be just mobbing units with all of these guys and hoping it works out. So yeah, let's make our cavalry go over here. You know what? Let's put you down there. What kind of range do you get? Okay. We can kind of shoot right at the bottom of the hill. Maybe we want to stagger this a little bit more dramatically. Yeah, something like that. And then get the archers down there. That might be good. Let's see where they go. Okay, there's fewer men, or at least they look smaller here in numbers than I was fearing. But so axes. They've got some skirmishers. Looks like 3 units of those. And And I think there's some archers here. But it looks like a relatively understrength unit of archers. So, one thing we could do is hope to provoke their cavalry to chase all of those ranged targets, right? And their cavalry is only their generals. If we kill both of these units, we may have a fighting chance. Especially, obviously, their commanding general. So where are their spearmen at? Alright, right in the middle. You know, I guess that's good. These guys are going to gradually get tired. Alright, good. And they're being stupid. They're trying to outflank me on the left, on the steep side of the hill. Okay. I wasn't, you know, wasn't expecting that, but I'm not going to say no. Let's get the slingers over here and over here. I guess I don't want you too deep, but something like that would be good. And you guys can come over this way. Now, I don't think that they're really going to outflank me. They're going to do this, and then they're going to come pretty much straight on. Oh, this would be great if they separate their cav. And we're already slinging them. Who are we even hitting? Is there some unit that I'm unaware of here? Okay, that was just a brief... Yeah, I guess we're hitting these guys. Wow, okay. Alright, so that's going to provoke them up the hill. I really didn't think that we would get to do that so quickly. Let's run the archers over them. Because these guys may get some shots in too. Yeah, we're going to be able to hit some of them. Oh my gosh. I feel like I could take out their general here. Let's start moving down the hill. Now, they are a skirmish unit. Every general unit that is cavalry in this mod comes with the option to skirmish. And this is because the AI in Rome Total War tends to be a little aggressive with its generals and sends them into fights unsupported. So this was an attempt by the developers from very early on, as I remember, to get the generals to behave when under AI control, you know, a little more restrained. And we're hitting them. Oh, this is great. Great, great, great. But even beyond that, every one of these general units of Rune is a skirmisher anyway, right? Like, they are a javelin and sword unit. Alright, they are going to try to get around. I'm going to ignore their general then. I think we need to run over here with our archers. And let's get down here. I mean, I'm going to ignore their general with my own cavalry, that is. Alright, so let's hit the big unit of Chieftain's Guard. And we're fast, so hopefully we will be able to catch them. But yeah, see, they're skirmishing away. I don't know. If we can catch them, great. We can gradually bring these slow guys around, which is where they're going to do well. But these units are not tired at all. I mean, they're warmed up. Oh, gosh, this sucks. We need to kill them, like... I need to bring my general back, though. See, look at this. They're going to swamp me over here, and we're going to be screwed. Okay. We are hitting them from over here with both of our slingers, so at least that is working. And, alright, we're catching them up with our cav. They're going to catch up. Okay, I think we're going to get them. 25 men winning slightly. I think we can get them, but we're going to have to fight all of this stuff basically alone. Okay, and I can't remember if, like, hedgehog formation is going to do anything for us against these kind of units. Let's get the skirmishers over. Are we getting there? I think we could do it. Evenly matched, 15 men. We killed one of their generals, but he's not the main guy. 14. Oh, just kill him. They haven't clashed yet with my line. And maybe they're waiting for reinforcements, or maybe they're just waiting to use all of their javelins. There he goes. All right, we need to ignore this now and run all these guys back over here. They may try to go for the attack at this point. Oh, skirmishers have routed. Good, they're routing through axemen. You know, the slingers are not lined up perfectly well to take advantage of this. And we've got Riders of Rune down there, as I remember. That's the general bodyguard unit. Okay, axemen. You know what? Let's see if we can take out this unit of axemen while no one else is around. And what are you? Easterling Warband? Okay, we'll try to skirmish with the rest of them and keep our cavalry coming on. Okay, great. That worked out really well. That's a warband unit. Let's get behind the warband here. Get the warband and go over here. Where's the spearmen? 43 men. They're shaken. Beautiful. All right, 73 versus 54. I think we're going to be okay. Let's keep pushing them. Look at how they're routing, like, very, very quickly upon contact. All right, let's come over. All right, that's their spearmen, so that is a dangerous unit. But there's so few of them now that I think we can just ignore them. Let's bring these guys back up and not waste all of their fatigue. And they're routing, okay. The spearmen are not routing, but I think they will soon. Let's hit these axemen and see what this secondary army is going to do. I'm feeling very good about this. Spearmen rout. Okay, so let's actually maybe not chase routers. Actually, what we may want to do is halt and preserve ammo. These guys are already out of ammo, so how about you chase routers? I may need you skirmishers in a melee role. And we'll move the archers over here, and we'll try to hit these guys as they come up the hill. And yeah, otherwise we will chase routers. So use the light cav to do that. So Easterling archers. And I think we've got a good army to beat this. This is all low tier stuff except for Riders of Ruin, which looks a lot like the bodyguard unit, but lacks javelins. This is a good, you know, medium cav unit. But I don't think they're really much of a match for us at this point. We've got, like, a couple of kinds of different spears, and our own bodyguard is better than they are. So I think this will be fine. Let's send you a little farther. Do they have any ranged? Alright, skirmishers, and that's it. They do have some Spearmen of Rune, but only 32 guys. Not very concerned about that. We can go ahead and do a Schiltrom, I think. And let's put you guys on fire at will. We'll probably just rout them before they even get close to us, right? Well, if they really go aggressive. I thought I told you guys to move into Schiltrom. Go. Alright, I thought I told you guys to go into that. Oh, of course. Of course they're going for my weaker guys. Well, that makes sense. Alright, I'm just gonna try to end this quicker. We're gonna move the spearmen over, and I'm gonna move my general up here too. We've got 2 cav units. I guess we can keep on the routers. You know, we may as well. We've got the slingers to maybe bring over here to kind of back up. Notice how we're winning easily? You know, even against a nice tier 3 cab unit. Romanian foresters are pretty decent. Now we're warmed up. These guys are tired and, you know, they're a smaller unit. They're away from their support. So it makes sense that we're going to do better here, but this is a very cheap and useful unit, the foresters. But I think this should be, very soon should be the end of this.
This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief.
But yeah, we're now done with arrows. So, you know, since the cab is gone, I guess you guys can get out of Shiltron. We'll run you down. And you too, yeah. The general, I mean, I guess we can stay on him. Okay, what do we got going on here? We've got some guys. Okay, they're fine. They're fine. My cab needs to do that, and I guess some other riders. I want to kill all of these guys if I can. Just get them completely off the field. 2 men, but there's the captain, and he did kind of pause. Oh, we just ran right into some war bands, so that was stupid on my part. Where's the general here? Right there, right in the thick of it. Wavering. We've got spears coming down to help. Will it be enough? You know, we're doing great, like, in terms of our losses, right? It's 34. They're very tired, but so are we. Alright, let's just throw everything at it. We're bringing our support spears in. They're taking some losses on the way. We're still holding pretty fast, and we routed the warband, so very good. Their captain's going to get away. He actually doesn't really matter, though, because he's just a captain. So he is not going to remain. We have wiped out, I think, enough of their men, so that when we get back to the campaign map, it should be nothing left. But I'm just going to make extremely sure here that that is going to be the case. Chase down all the guys we can. So you can go after that. You can go after that. Yeah, you guys should be firing at will. There we go. There. That should be all of it. Heroic victory. We only lost 100 men. I thought we were done for in that. Oh my gosh. All right, so now we find out if there is a second big army waiting unseen in the woods somewhere, because it is still the AI's turn. They could pull something else out. Victory! Nope. Okay, we made it. That is such a relief. So, let's see. This is, yes, Tind of Wrathwind, the ruler with the thrice-forged spear, +2 troop morale, extra command when commanding infantry. He's a poor commander, but, you know, that's fine. He's lightly wounded, and he's ill. So he was under the weather earlier, and he is now ill because he's been out and about. I think you can recover from illness or being under the weather by going back into a settlement and waiting for a few turns, maybe. But yeah, so he is middle-aged. Yeah, we didn't want to lose him that early. So now I'm much more nervous about this, but let's bring the spy around. So inside Yar Helcar, what we wanted to do is kind of end this war quickly, and we may still be able to do that. If we can take Yar Helcar this turn, which we can definitely get there, right? Captain. We can easily get there this turn. As long as there's no other enemies in the way, I think we could take this place. We've got enough ranged stuff, right? We've got 3 archers, 2 slingers, and some foresters that we could shoot down pretty much everything in here and then just kind of leisurely mop up the rest. This is not going to have any walls. It's going to be a very, very basic settlement. And we get rid of a family member for them. But let's just make sure there's nothing going to hit us on the way.
Secrecy is assured. Moving.
And in a sense, it almost doesn't matter what they have coming, because if we can take it this turn and gift it to North Rune this same turn, then we should be fine. In here, we've got a couple of emissaries, one young, one old. So I guess we'll leave them both in there until we need to do anything. I don't want to take this guy out and then have this guy die and then have a dwarven emissary pop up and bribe Belligant. That is a very real risk. So let's do this. We'll go straight to Jarl Helcar and hope we don't get ambushed along the way. Maybe there was something here, I guess. Okay.
Besieging settlement, sir.
So we'll just assault. We outnumber them, and the balance of power bar likes it. So this is an important battle to win. We do want to have, you know, some good leftovers after the fact, so we don't want to throw lives away. But it's less important that we're careful in this one than in some other battles. Because the hope is, as long as the diplomatic maneuvering works, we will not have a border with Rune and won't have to worry about fighting against them. So as long as we just win this, we should be fine, and we don't need to be too protective. So let's get the archers up, something like that. Usually the AI is going to have a bunch of guys hanging around the wall area, basically. And yeah, let's do a couple of spearmen here, just because we don't know what side their general is going to be on. We'll get you off skirmish, put those guys there, and then we'll just run everybody up. Yeah, so there's the bodyguard. If we get close enough to threaten them with our range stuff, they may, and often will, respond to that. So all of our guys should be able to hit something at this point. Yeah, including their bodyguard, which is so nice. We'll just kind of move you up like that. And that Spearman of Rune, okay, we do want to be a little careful about that there. Why don't you run? Alright, and they're just gonna get wrecked by their Chieftain's Guard. This is not a great unit, though, their bodyguard, at least in my opinion. I'm just gonna swerve because this is not gonna be a good charge, but I don't want to get caught by the Spearman of Rune. Okay, so now they're in more of a melee situation. Oh, no! Oh,
Now we will
no.
see the true quality of his soldiers.
Oh, well, that just sucks. Alright, yep, that's the guy who I wanted to see get crushed. Alright. Since the bodyguard's not going to be around, we can use and abuse them, but that is so lame. Let's send the axemen up here. Alright, all you guys chill out. I will send you up that way, though. Yeah, let's move everybody up this way. I guess a spearman can be over here. You can be up there, and yeah, more slingers over this way. I'm glad they're not all rushing back towards the plaza at this point. Spearmen, great, we got them. And let's bring the riders up, actually, the light riders, because we might as well, you know, really try to capture these units. I don't need to worry about Shiltrom anymore. Let's get right up here. Those are some skirmishers. I'm going to go after the skirmishers, actually, with my bodyguard. Inside the plaza, they're probably kept back. Yeah, like a warband. That's fine. You go after the spears. You go after the spears. You're going to go and hit the skirmishers. And we're all going to hit the skirmishers, actually. All of our cav. They rout pretty fast now that we've taken out the general. And yeah, we may as well march everybody up. So I think what we saw there was the detrimental effects of illness, because he was losing at least 3 hit points. Middle-aged may also hurt his HP, I'm not sure. So his age may have had something to do with it, but the illness was doing 2, and he was lightly wounded, so that was doing another 1. There may have been other traits that were stacking even more to hurt his health. And that means that every hit that was done to him, you know, could could have been fatal. So probably, maybe it was friendly fire even, which just sucks. So that's why it is worthwhile to watch for those traits, I guess. Okay, you can actually halt here. Okay, skirmishers. Let's go here. I think we're gonna get him. Again, this bodyguard unit I don't care about. The cav, hopefully some cav will live and we can retrain him back in Belligant. As soon as we enter the plaza, that's going to pull these guys out after us. That's kind of okay. Let's bring our light spears up and our heavy spears. And then we're just going to do this. Just going to pull them out of the plaza. All right. And there we go. We're going to end the battle. So deeply unfortunate. That was probably the worst way that could have gone, short of losing the battle, but which we weren't really going to, No real chances of losing outright, but losing the king when he could have gone back to Belligant. And in the last episode, we saw that he was having a large impact on the economy of Belligant. I think it was something like 2,000 Mirian. So just because of that, just out of spite, we're going to lay desolate to this Easterling hole in the middle of the forest. We're gonna knock down some stuff, everything that we can, actually. This is an entirely unprovoked attack by a trading partner, maybe even an ally. I can't remember. But let's see who our new king is for a second. Here's Sigthorn of Dorwinion. He is laying siege to Burne currently, and there are some mercenaries. We are going to snatch those up. So he's the new king, competent governor, adept commander. So he's been kind of the hero of, the battle between the rivers, I guess, between the Kelduin and the Karnan. He's been taking the fight to the enemy, taking out their field armies, and capturing settlements, Yodor, and now probably Burne, possibly this turn. So that's just deeply, deeply unfortunate. We do have another family member here. He's the Lord of Upper Dorwinion, and in Dale itself, we've got Baragond, who is the Lord of Dale, but that is it for family members. Let's check our tree. Okay, we've got some people on the way. We've got Hunthor, and I don't know how old he is, so that's, that's the one downside of hiding the numbers, so in order to give the impression that the elves are not dying off at a human rate, is that you don't know when your youths are going to come of age. Now, this guy's middle-aged. That doesn't really... Okay, he's youthful, actually. Oh, that's good. So we've got a young king. Okay. So that means he could be very young. He could be, like, essentially a baby, right? I know in the photo he looks like he's 10 or 12, but that could just be... I think there's only one photo for pre-coming of age.
Captain.
All right, do we want to do this assault right now? Well, we don't want to wait 8 turns. I know that. Well, we don't really have any other units to send. So let's do this thing first. We will get an emissary. I think we've got one right here, actually. Because I'm curious about this, let's go see Gargal. All right, not a lot of men there. And so we are going to give province. So we are allies and we are trading with North Rune, and we are going to make them a little bit stronger here. Because if we give them this province, Aaron Rune, which you can see on the mini-map here, then that will break the contact between us and Rune. So the offer is to give province. I'm going to offer you Yar Helcar, and I'm also going to offer you some money. We've got enough money that this should be just fine. And maybe they won't even need us to give them any money to take it, but it is my experience that sometimes the AI just does not accept a settlement. This is more likely to be the case, I think, when it does not border the settlement that you are offering. And sometimes it'll just happen if you have any units at all standing outside the settlement, but in the province. So you always want to make sure that you get your guys out before you offer the settlement, or get them in the city, right? So we are set up that way, so that's just fine. But just on the off chance that this doesn't work, it's important to me that the war ends. So I am going to give you 2,000, which is kind of what we just got for sacking the place. So we'll give you money. That's to sort of rebuild. All right. So that is our armies marching out of there. And hopefully they don't attack us. Now, they're going to get just a bunch of peasants. This is just a very, very, small, only 20 men in this, which is like their militia, their war band, basically. So they're probably not going to feel too strong or too aggressive with that unit. So hopefully they don't try to capitalize on it. But basically, we got ourselves some extra trade also. Because if Rune were to keep this, then obviously if we're at war with them, we're not going to be trading with this province. And trade with Belligant is super important. So even if it means, giving a province to a trading partner rather than keeping it ourselves, I think this is the better way to go. Rune is not currently at war with North Rune. They're at war with us and Dale and the dwarves. So they shouldn't, interfere too much. We're going to give them a turn to just sort of get used to this idea. And then I'm going to ask for a ceasefire. Now, to do that, I will need to get an emissary somewhere. I don't think we have any in the region.
Yes, master.
So how about we take the old guy,
Your Honor.
and we just see, if he doesn't make it over here, we'll just keep sending someone else. But we don't have anyone around here, so I want to make sure that we don't get bribed. All right, we are going to make 89-14 this turn. That's actually quite good. In Dale, we're almost ready to start training some basic levies. That's all right. I don't feel like spending money in Esgaroth just yet because it's not really set up with a governor. I guess we can get another spy. I'd kind of like a spy down here because I want to see what Ravanian's going to do. In fact, this does have me worried, and that's part of the reason I want to wait, maybe. Is because if I take this, is Rovanian going to immediately attack me? Let's see what their diplomacy looks like. Rovanian is at war with the Dunabar. Okay, so that is a good sign. They're allied with me. And they're allied with, Harondor and Rohan. That doesn't matter, but they're at war with the Dunabar. So probably, yeah, they're going to be fighting over here. Maybe, in fact, a Dunabar is going to be aggressive and invade them. So I want to see this army move off down into the southwest. So maybe I'll give that another turn. We'll continue softening up this force. They're going to take a few losses. I think we get a couple of turns before they send any reinforcements over. So let's just end. We're going to, accrue some more cash in the meantime. All right, Elven Realm. I think we're trading. Yeah. So they're just trying to bribe. I think that may have been a bribe attempt. If you ever see diplomats trying to interact with your settlement,
Captain?
but not doing anything, it may be that they are trying to bribe you.
Yes.
Okay, let's get the scout down here. If we can find an army of Rune hiding in the woods, that might be helpful. Well, we know we can get this guy down to like one of these settlements if need be. This is a Rune settlement, so maybe this is actually the quickest place to go.
Your Honor. Your Honor. At once.
Yeah, so next turn, if all goes well. Now, that was an army that I would just about guarantee was pointed at our settlement. But when we gave it back to North Rune, they decided to head it back towards their own region. It's because they're not at war with North Rune yet, so... Alright. Okay, we got an execution in Esgaroth. That is great news. So there's one elven spy that won't be bothering us. There are probably others, but that's one. Alright, 4 seasons to fiefdom, dominion there. Let's see what we can do with Dale. I'm curious how long we've got this guy. Okay, he's youthful. That is so good. He's a competent governor. And how loyal is he? We've got a new king. He is discourteous, yeah. So a lot of times that can change based on, you know, the influence level of your current king. Our guy is okay. He's got 6 influence. But it may be that this is he hasn't been around very long, right? So his influence could be higher. And that could be what's causing this guy the irritation. Now, what I could do, actually, if I want some beefier stuff, I could send it down from Dale. But I am concerned that Dale and Esgaroth are going to be attacked at some point. So let's see what we can build. We are making, again, 5,000. Okay. Well, for Dale, I guess we want to go with animal husbandry and fishing rights. So that's going to be, it's either livestock or horses. We're going to go livestock. Like, I know this guy is attuned. So, you know, I don't need to wait around, but I don't feel like biting the bullet on some of these other things just yet. That said, we could also go for, like, muster fields to get up to some of our own stuff, get some swordsmen, you know, just get some more versatile infantry, and we have the money for it, so let's do that. And also the population here is good enough so that we can just kind of keep training. So let's do that too. Let's get another more robust infantry. These guys cost a bit much though for what they are. 160. I mean, I'm just used to paying lower prices for more versatile / useful units, right? These guys are 140 for 100, and these guys are, what did we say they were? Yeah, 160 for 90. So, you know, the stats are better, but still. All right, I guess it's one more end turn. But I'm glad to see, you know, Rune hasn't expanded into this part of the world, and there goes that army of Rovanion. Okay, so that might be our cue, you know. Public order's great. I think we may as well just to take this. Let's check the traits. Supplied. Okay, it's probably a good time to go. If we wait another turn, this could drop. We lose morale. So let's try to be careful with this guy. He's a casual fighter, so I think that's got no effects. He's energetic, so that should be +1 HP. He's commanding stature, so that's giving him another 1. He's youthful. I think that's giving him 1 as well. Tower Man doesn't do anything. Open-handed, easygoing. All that stuff is fine. So, yeah, I think he's a more robust king. But we are facing their new king, Vald of Burne, who's got 1 more man in a very frightening unit, as we've seen, of Dragon Slayers. We got Black Spears here. These guys are going to be annoying. But they've got no archers this time. So if we do it right, we could get a lot of losses on them very cheaply, if we can avoid their cav and you know, try to make things work out. So Rovanian's probably aiming south and west. I don't think they're bothering to go for the east bite just yet because Adunabar's causing them problems, or getting their attention maybe. So that's really good for us, because even if Adunabar and Rovanian make peace, the east bite, that province of, I think it's Thrimfeld, we'll just go for it here. That's going to be kind of our bellwether. Is that the right word for it? The canary in the coal mine might be the better expression. In the sense that if that falls, we know that there's probably not a lot of rebel settlements left in the area, and we may want to start moving. Alright, so this is a little annoying. This is the straightest route forward into the plaza, but it is the hardest in terms of being under tower fire. Yeah, that might work. Going the opposite side. All other units are going to be here, and so I think we'll do this. We'll get 2 of our rams, 1 here, 1 there, and we'll just use these guys, the axemen. Again, they don't have any archers, so there shouldn't be anybody on top of these walls. Let's get you back, actually, and we'll get all of our archers like that. A nice kind of clump. And my gosh, we got a lot of light cav. This is clearly a field army more than a siege army. And I think I'll have you guys just follow the archers. And probably all of you guys do not need skirmish. Alright, so let's go there and there. Yep, so they were going to be guarding the gate. Probably black spears. Right there. And this is another black spears unit. So hopefully they'll stay where they are for a little while. Once we get in here, we can, you know, capture towers. And then we could sort of sneak around the back, I guess. Or we could try to go this way, which might be the better option. Because I'd rather fight them down here than up in the plaza. I guess we don't need to wait.
Our soldiers are at the walls! Now they must batter a way through!
Now, we probably didn't need to take both of these sections of wall out, but, you know, if they move quickly over here, yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. They wait until a certain point, maybe it's 50% wall damage, and then they rearrange their lines. Alright, this is kind of good, though. We get their cavalry down here. They'll be nice targets for our arrows. So I'm going to mix this up. We're going to have some archers here.
The walls are broken! Our troops should be ordered forward.
Alright, I don't know if we're going to get hit. We'll watch this mercenary unit. And you guys can come over here, I think. Alright. Alright, they're kind of out of reach, which is annoying. I can run the axemen through, but then the cavalry are going to come over and hit me. Okay, we're causing some damage. They're leaving. I guess we should push right through as fast as we can, right? Yeah, and that includes these guys. We may as well get them in. Just axemen, and I think we'll be fine, you know, down and watch. Let's actually get the foresters. And these are barding militia. They're not too scary, so I think my general can take them. Let's go after the mounted watch there. This is not, you know, going to be really favorable for us, but militia's low tier, 32, I think we can do it. And this is our youthful king, right? He's healthy, he's got commanding stature. He should have no trouble. Very nice. So now, I think I do want to go this way. I'm going to get the Dorwinion foresters up on the walls. We'll bring everybody else inside the walls. So we do have this tower, which is a little annoying, but I'm just going to go this way. So barding militia, black spears, and woodman spears. This is, I think, a tier 3 unit, but they are not, you know, not at all on the par of the black spears, so not too concerned about that. Let's get 2 archers right here.
Great gods! Our soldiers have done well
we'll do
this
3
day.
archers behind
The
them.
walls are taken.
And skirmishers, and then we'll get, like, yeah, all the melee guys. Okay, so here come the black spears, or the barding militia. Run over there. Because what we want is to kind of get them to come after us where they'll be a little more vulnerable to arrow fire, I think. We'll shoot them. maybe I'll even give up the tower because, you know, yes, we are going to come under fire from it, but I'm thinking it might, yeah, I'd rather not lose all these guys. Because they will lose, and we don't have anything really good to fight, like 2 full units of black spears. Alright, we should keep an eye, though, on their general, who's probably back in the plaza. So, back here, we've got, it looks like, their general and 1 cav unit and 1 unit of barding militia. Alright, so we didn't make it out. I guess fine, you know, that means we've still got the tower, technically. And they've got a couple of other units over there. You know, another thing we could do is just ignore all of this. And run through. We're going to be under fire the whole way from the tower. That's probably a bad move. Because they could come down with their other units and hit us while these guys come down from the height. So I think we want to focus on this. Alright, 64 black spears. We are taking some of them. Let's really focus on those black spears, though. You know, the militia, fine. And maybe I'll bring the axemen up. If we, you know, capture that gate, like if we were to run up with some units and capture this, that would definitely move these guys towards us. But again, we just don't really have anything that can fight them on the walls. So maybe we will have to just rush for the center. $62, yeah. Maybe the angle just isn't good and we're wasting arrows. $61. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I'm just going to rush everybody up here. I'm going to leave. I've got 2 units in here who are just going to hang out. All right, all you guys do need to come. Sometimes archers, I don't know what it is. It's like they're caught when you give them an order in the middle of a firing animation. They don't want to respond. Okay, so here's our axeman. Let's see if we can sneak him over here and start getting into the fight. So we're only now going to take fire from this gateway. Okay, and here they come. So maybe I've got like a trash kind of unit I can throw up here, just to cause a little bit of chaos. And to help protect our infantry from the arrow fire when as they're trundling on through. Yeah, that sounds like ballistas. All right, come on. So both units are coming down from the walls, and we've got them. We've got the walls again. That's great. We'll just get up there. I'd like to get up on this side so we can, you know, maybe attack them. Right, here's all my cav. And I'm half tempted just to charge into their general here, because I think that would be fairly... I don't know. I don't know how effective it'd be, but I kind of think we could make something happen. Alright, so let's slow it down. Maybe they'll stay in the plaza, and these guys are going to come over to fight us over here. What are they going to do? Alright, it looks like it's just the axemen now. Our Romanian foresters are routing. Alright, we took out about 10 of the black spears. Okay, it's actually, this is time. It's time to go. Oh my gosh. Let's see, this is not a charge, but they pulled themselves ahead out from the plaza, so that was super effective. All right, let's get the Dorwinion watch ready. Yep, they're gone. Okay, so we did some damage with the javelins. We managed to use up almost all of our javelins. That's fine. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I think I'm going to keep all my cav up here, and we'll try to do this with these guys. Where's their woodman spear? Okay, they're with them. So 34 and 58. Okay, well, I could take you guys down now and hit them in the back. So we got some black spears on the wall, but these guys are still going strong. That's fine. And I don't really have a lot that I can do with my other units now because I guess what I could do is start bringing the archers up, right? So we will do that. Pull them out of the plaza and maybe capture the plaza before these guys push through all of our Dorwinion watch. It's very sad. We've got just a couple of very weak units of these guys left. But together, I guess they do outnumber the Black Spears at least. Alright, our axemen, 21 men, are holding off against, 21 Barding militia. So they're doing a great job against those militia and, holding their own against the Black Spears. That is buying us the time that we need to hopefully finish this fight. I think I'm going to attack the Woodman Spears because there's only 20 of them. And we got to get ready to countercharge these guys, which I was not ready to do. So, whatever. That's going to be pretty ineffective. Okay, there go the Woodman Spears routing. They're wavering. We're going to get in a few cheap shots in the back. There goes those Black Spears. Oh, yeah, now they're going to resort to the cheap tactics. Throwing javelins in the middle of a melee. I think we're going to do good. I think we're going to hold out against them. We managed to chase their cav all the way back to the plaza, but let's get back here. So we don't want to lose all of our cav to Barding militia. This might be a timeout sort of scenario where we just manage to get them on the clock. If we can get the plaza here before those guys come up the hill to fight us. Okay, that should be their cue to charge. They take a loss. They come out of the plaza. They can decide to change their minds. But that just means we'll be shooting into their backs, so. Alright, let's go for it. I know they're going to run into our archers. Oh my gosh. Light cav just gets decimated on that forward charge. But the Black Spears are routing too. And all we have to do is beat these guys. Oh, come on. Catch them before they get back. Broken. Alright? I want to try to capture the plaza before they do. We're just going to run through them. We will get some kills on the way, but I'm sure one of them is going to make it. Yep. 6. 4. Okay. Oh, man, we're still going here. Alright, so now it's just a timer. And I am not too proud to wait for the timer to win this battle for me. Alright, both of our guys are now routing. That means they're going to be coming up the hill. Let's see which way they're going to go. Probably this way. But it doesn't matter. They'll just touch our lines, and then we're going to declare victory here. Beautiful. All right. So with that, that's Yodor. Or no, this is Burne. This is Burne, the settlement near the river. I think Burne was chosen because Born is the name of a river, right? I think it's an Old English name for river or stream, something like that. Bannockburn. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we'll get you, what are you? A spy? Kind of hard to tell with Dale. They get a lot of chainmail. Oh, it's an emissary. Okay. Alright, come on, make your move. Okay. And I think we're going to occupy this because public order's not bad. We don't want to hurt the population too much. We do want to train some things out of here. This is going to be, I think, a financial settlement for us, which it's currently military. But we'll go ahead and tear everything down that needs tearing down. And yeah, let's get rid of the military just so I can remember that. We'll keep these chieftains' feasts. We can upgrade them later. Go for provincial pacification. And let's wait. I don't think we're in a rush to hurry to repair the wooden wall because we're not at war with Rovanion. So we can recruit an emissary. I'll do that just for the bribe insurance. And then that's looking pretty good. So we're basically Dale now. We are Dale minus these provinces north of Mirkwood and the fort along the Carnan. But plus these very important two settlements here. So we have just extended to the north and west. We've secured our eastern flank, and we managed to win that battle at the beginning of the episode here, which I was really thinking we were going to lose. So a very, very good cleanup operation, I would say, all around. And in the next turn, we're going to attempt to get peace with Rune, and maybe they will even pay us for the privilege. After that, maybe we'll look at some island hopping. If we can get peace and trade with Rune, then we can start building up this province here. No one has it yet, and start trading with their ports. That would be an easy pick for us to take. And then, you know, possibly just keep pressing west and bother Dale. I do have my eyes on places like Erebor and Nerrig-Zigil, but we will have to see what Rune's doing, because taking this, you know, does mean that we lose a buffer between us and the Easterlings again. Now, eventually at some point we will need to fight them, but that is in the future for now. I hope you'll join me in the next episode. Take care until then.